Okay, so one of the fun things about AI is we get to see this intersection, and I guess this is technology at whole, but we get to see this intersection between what people are trying to work on in the lab versus what they're trying to put out into the market versus what we've been talking about in sci-fi and maybe even dystopian shows forever. And I think you can look at the thing that I'm about to show you through several different lenses. Number one, it's just really freaking cool. Number two, you will immediately start wondering if the things that they're telling you about it are real or not, and legit. Does it do the thing that it says? But then it also, does it not do the things that it says it doesn't do?
What?
And you'll grab onto this in a second, because
Okay.
this feels like there's some interesting leakage that could come out if it's more sensitive than what they're letting on. With that tee up and hopefully a little bit of curiosity piqued,
Yeah, Perry,
I'm going to go over here.
I have been oscillating between thinking that I might know what you're talking about like 6 different times, and I don't think I'm even close.
No, I mean, I think it's just cool. And I think it's knowing enough about like the way that sub-vocalizations work. I think it's legit as far as what they're saying it does and doesn't do. But MIT's been working on this since 2018, from what I could tell. And there's this thing that they're productizing based on a project that they've called Alter Ego. And it says it's a non-invasive, wearable, peripheral neural interface that allows humans to converse in natural language with machines, artificial intelligence assistants, services, and other people without any voice, without opening their mouth, and without externally observable movements, simply by articulating words internally. Now we've seen some of this before, right? Because if you put on like a neural feedback band or something, there's immense amounts of control that people can have with those that are not like surface level visible for the person wearing it.
Yeah.
And we've seen versions of this as well, not near as impressive, but different versions that are helping like Alzheimer's, not Alzheimer's, sorry, ALS patients, like Lou Gehrig's disease patients, or people that have severe paralysis, be able to use communication boards and things like that to intuit what somebody is thinking based on like micro movement muscles in their jaw that they can't fully articulate, but it gets them there with another interface. But many times though, go ahead.
But those it's more like picking from a menu, as far as I understand with those, right? They're like navigating.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Is this saying that you basically like sub vocalizations, like you mouth the words without like, just your tongue and teeth and inside of your closed lips, and this works off of that?
Yeah, and I'm going to show you that in a second. And sometimes it's even less than that. It's the intention to do that can get picked up. So I'll read a little bit from the research page, and then we're going to jump over because earlier this year, about 2 weeks ago, I believe, they built the full product page for this, and they're going to bring it to market. So it says, the wearable system captures peripheral neural signals when internal speech articulators are voluntarily and neurologically activated. And the key word there is voluntarily, or volitionally, sorry, same thing, volitionally and neurologically activated during a user's internal articulation of words. So exactly what you were talking about.
Interesting.
This enables a user to transmit and receive streams of information to and from a computing device or any other person without any observable action, in discretion, and without unplugging the user from his or her environment, and without invading the user's privacy. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Sounds really sci-fi. These are all, if you're looking at the video, this is all from things during the research project, but I'm going to go over to the product page. If you go to alterego.io, for those just listening, it says interact at the speed of thought. Introducing Alter Ego, the first near telepathic interface designed to make technology as intuitive as using your inner voice. So those of us that kind of walk around all day, kind of maybe sub-vocalizing our thoughts, this is like really cool and really scary at the same time, because I do think, despite what they're saying in this, that there can be some leakage that's unintended. What they're getting at all the time, though, in this is that there's a different way that we think when we're thinking to ourselves than when we kind of articulate sub-vocally. And that is very, very true, though I do think that there's probably a decent amount of the population. It's kind of the people that when they're reading, they're also moving their mouth, that have a difficult time separating those two.
Yeah.
And that's not like it's not me like getting people's intelligence or anything else. I know that sounds like a really bad thing to say.
Yeah, it's not a value judgment, but I mean, it's just like some people don't read with a voice in their head. Some people do. Some people, I can imagine the potential for leakage being pretty dangerous, though, because then you leak your own sort of personal thoughts without realizing. So that is definitely a concern.
Especially if you're sending that to another person at the same time.
Oh, God.
It's like, this guy's a freaking idiot.
Yeah, you're right. I'm already worried about like Siri accidentally calling someone if I mention their name, even if I'm saying something innocuous. I can't imagine having something that is listening to and I'm not a person who really sub-vocalizes. I'm pretty silent as far as when I'm alone. So I'm not worried about that for me personally, but I also don't know if I would ever get one of these things. This doesn't seem like
I'm going to get one and try it out whenever it has it.
Oh, God, yeah. Please bring that on the show. I'd be so curious. This doesn't feel like it should be possible. Like, this is really on the edge for me of feeling fictional.
I've seen enough other things that are similar to it that I can definitely see the trajectory. I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick so you can get a feel for it. But I'm going to call your attention to a couple of things on the screen. Number one, you can see the guy that's in charge of the research. He's wearing the device. It's kind of tucked behind his ear. And if you go down to the corner, you can see this big, thick wire that's going off screen. That's like allowing that thing to hook up to whatever it's plugged into.
So just out of frame, there's some big computer.
It's not fully discrete and wireless yet, but it's getting there. Way better than the thing that you saw in the research preview. Look at this, there's like almost a 3D printed apparatus that's kind of touching the guy almost where his jugular would be, that's kind of wrapped just under his chin, with another pad that's going just under his one side of his mouth and his lip. It's not that. They've really got it down to just the essentials, and it is almost like this bone conduction device that's tucked right behind the ear.
That's fascinating, because from what I understand about subvocal microphones, you typically do need to mount them on your throat to pick up vibrational movements and things like that. So this is interesting.
And I think, though, is you're talking, like, is you're vocalizing and sub-vocalizing, if you put like the pad of your finger right behind your ear, kind of the lower part between your jaw and like your earlobe, you can feel there's a lot going on there.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. Especially if you got on that jaw joint, if that's any part of what is...
Exactly. Yep. I'm sure that's what it's picking up on. So I'm going to play just a couple minutes of this so that we get a feel for it. And maybe we can talk for a second about the implications. Then we can dump out to the next section. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Arnav. And today I want to share a preview of something we've been working on. We believe it's a revolutionary breakthrough with the potential to change the way we interact with our technology, with one another, and with the world around us. The current way of interacting with computing and AI is limited to how fast you can tap and swipe on screens and keyboards. For the intelligence age, we need an entirely new interface, built from the ground up. Something that feels like a natural extension of the human mind. To realize this, we had to invent something completely new. And today, we're introducing it. It's called alter ego, which to us means extension of the self. Alter ego gives you the power of telepathy, but only for the thoughts you want to share. With alter ego, you talk just like you normally would, but without making a sound, which unlocks private communication at the speed of thought. It works by passively detecting the subtlest signals your brain sends to your speech system when you decide to speak. It's entirely under your control and only picks up what you want to communicate. I'm actually wearing one right now. Let me show you how it works. So everything you're going to see behind me for this demo are the words alter ego can detect in real time. This is typically referred to as silent speech. But But we've gone further. We invented a breakthrough technology we call Silent Sense. Silent Sense is incredibly sensitive. It can pick up the full spectrum of speech, allowing you to speak as loudly or as quietly as you want. Let me show you how it works.
It says it can detect the mouthing of words, and he was just moving his mouth there, but now he's going to go deeper. So now he's not moving his mouth. It says it can detect even the subtlest intent to speak.
Here, I'll show you again.
Okay, that's a trip.
Yeah, it says from the outside it looks like telepathy.
Alter Ego has zero access
stop
to your
sharing
thoughts.
there.
So
it only interprets signals from your speech system.
And he says, yeah, zero access to your thoughts. It only interprets things that you're intentionally sending to your speech center. And it's going to be interesting to like see how we may unintentionally send things to our speech center.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also, so that demo doesn't really conclusively show us anything. It would be really, really easy to fake or fudge or polish up like a game trailer for E3. Those words could easily be added in post, that kind of thing.
Right.
But
now that it is MIT and they've been working on it since 2018 and have showed it in successive demos over the past several years. So I'm inclined to believe that they've gotten to where they're showing. Plus, they're also showing the clunky wire, and the device doesn't look elegant yet. So I think it's really cool, and it's going to get more and more discreet. I think that what we could probably and I'm not a scientist in this area, so take what I'm going to say with a grain of salt. But imagine that you get the device that he was wearing as small as an in-ear earbud like this, or maybe one of the ones that also has like the little shell that just goes around the side, has like the little ear clam that goes around it.
Yeah.
At that point, you've got a form factor that's usable and really, really just, I think, unlocks a ton of potential for both good and bad, right? Because now you can also have terror cells speaking to each other without moving their mouse or typing on keyboards in front of other people.
And I mean, on top of that, thinking about all of the mundane problems that will arise from using these things, the mundane frustrations of them like not working properly or things like that.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Or you accidentally call in somebody that you're speaking to. You subvocalize a little unintentionally about the fact that you think that person's an idiot, or you wish that we could just end this phone call type of thing.
That's a whole world that's a whole different interface. Like he's saying, there's a whole different way of interfacing with technology. The prospect of that is fascinating to think about. The thing that I think puts me off slightly is that I've just become allergic, probably from following AI so closely. I've become slightly allergic to a lot of the phrasings that he used of, like it gives you telepathy, only what you want, really only what you like. There's just an overall vibe to it that makes me hesitant to take it completely at face value. But the fact, like you said, that it's MIT and that it's been in development for a long time. So
yeah, I do think there's going to be leakage from these things, though. So that only what you want. I don't think it's going to go to like actual thought reading or anything like that. But I think that we probably through our neuromusculature, leak a lot more of what we're thinking or intending to say or hide than we think we do.
And also just how much you might be inclined to share through an interface like that from a data collection standpoint, because like it's still going to go through services and providers and stuff like that. Will it increase the volume of personal information people share sort of without thinking, just by ease of use and ubiquity? Yeah.
And can you imagine also signing up for a service with that, and then all of a sudden you're, everything being mined, and just in the middle of the day getting these weirdly personalized ads?
Yeah. Yeah, it's already bad enough. It feels like your phone is listening to you, right? Imagine having this thing in, because I imagine, unlike your phone, which you still have to pull out of your pocket and use, this thing just in your ear all day.
Yeah. And if you're doing that so that you can also just have a completely like voice relationship with the world, so you're not looking at a screen all day, then those ads would be delivered straight to your ear, which would suck.
Yes, it would. Oh boy. Man.
Oh, speaking of that, though, don't we have to go to an ad?
We do, but I have one final quick question for you. Can you buy this now?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
I think that this is the hype page for what's going to come very soon.
All right. So it's not time to pull the trigger yet, but soon. It is, like you said, time to pull the trigger on a quick ad break. And then when we come back, we're going to look at this study about how people are using ChatGPT based on data directly from ChatGPT. Stick around.